Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of LSMN Overtime. I'm Brendan Selke, that's Alex Salazar, and we have some playoff basketball updates to bring you, as well as catching you up on the latest soccer highlights.
Yes, we do, so let's get started with some playoff basketball highlights. Tuesday night, Louisville faced off against Dallas Jesuit in the regional quarterfinals, with a game against Keller awaiting the winner. Louisville started off with some good defense from Colby Springs, finished off with some jelly by A.J. McPeters. Later, Springs would get this sweet baby hook shot to go. The Farmers relied on Springs as he had a nice drive later. And later it would be Springs again who showed off his passing as he found Max Hinman under the basket, who got a layup despite some tough defense. Jesuit ended the half with this unbelievable full-court shot to make the score 36-33 as the Jesuit student section went absolutely insane. Out of the break, Rakai Crawford showed off his move with this sweet step-back three. Springs continued to dominate in the paint with this wraparound layup. And later, Landon Brown got this tough and-one basket to fall, and Louisville would hold on to win 63-59. Some other matches that happened: the Colony defeated WT White 61-59. Previewing some of the matches we have, the Colony men's basketball will play Longview Friday at 6 p.m. at the Curtis Colwell Center. And Louisville will play against Keller at the Wilkerson Greens Activity Center at 6 p.m.
And let me tell you, I'm really excited about that Colony matchup. I mean, I got to talk to them earlier this year. They're a really good young team. I really think that this could be a year that they do something and make a long run in this one.
It's been an incredible season for the Colony.
Yep. And now, all district teams were announced for girls basketball this past week. In 6-6A, Hebron led the way with Paris Bradley winning MVP, along with Jordan Thomas and Micah Cooper being named co-offensive players of the year. Sydney Jones was also named the first team all-district. Flower Mound had 2 first-team members in Caitlin Edmondson and Maya Bujak, with Addison Gray and Natalie Millwood making second-team all-district.
Elena Martin made first team for Marcus, with the Marauders adding Addison Rage and Kennedy Padaway to second team. Louisville's Elena Scott made first team, and on the second team for LHS was Armaya Amos Horsley and Micaiah Williams. For District 9-5A, Jaden Jackson and Jayla Jones represent the Colony on second team.
To wrap up our award talks for women's basketball, Lisa Branch took home the 6-6A Head Coach of the Year. Branch led the Lady Hawks to a 34-3 record with a perfect 14-0 record in district play. The Lady Hawks team made a run in the playoffs, going all the way to the 4th round before losing to Boswell 49-44. An amazing season for Coach Branch and the whole Lady Hawks squad. The guys' team hasn't been released yet, but we will update you when we can.
Now let's move over to the soccer pitch, as there's plenty to cover from Tuesday night. The Hebron Hawks hosted the Plano Wildcats in one of the few games left in the regular season. Hebron came out swinging in the first half with a close shot from Tati Diaz, followed soon after by another close one from Chloe Nugent. Hebron ran into a bit of trouble with this foul from Layla Thompson, but soon they got their momentum back with this beautiful goal from Zoe Trinchard, assisted by Leah Simpson. Plano tried to retaliate with some of the shots of their own, but nothing stuck. Hebron took home the dub 1-0.
Now let's move over to Flower Mound as they faced off against Plano East. The game was off to a hot start for the Jaguars as Jalen Chaney bagged this goal, quickly followed by another goal scored by Lucy Stenning. After the aggressive play by the Panthers, it led to a goal for Payne Cooper, making it 2-1. Flower Mound answered right back, though, as Bella Larson got her first of the night underway as it gave the Jags a 2-goal cushion. Then right after, Larson added 2 more goals, one after another, giving her a hat trick right when halftime struck. The second half was a slower start with some stiff defense on both ends. The silence wouldn't last long as Allie Pinto scored from Audrey Varney's corner kick to put the Jags at 6 goals for the night. Larson added her 4th goal of the game late in this one, swiftly followed by a goal scored by Finley Norma. This ended the game 8-1 as Flower Mound demolished Plano East. Now let's recap the rest of the games from Tuesday night. Marcus tied Capel 0-0, while Louisville lost to Plano West 4-0. And then to wrap it up in 5A, the Colony beat Creekview 2-1. Then now let's preview those games from coming up on Friday night. Flower Mound will head into Hebron for a game with huge implications on LSMN Game of the Week. Marcus will keep fighting for a playoff spot against Plano West, and then Louisville will hope to get their first win of the year against Plano. And then finally, the Colony will face off against Newman Smith as they keep pursuing a top spot in district.
You know, that Flower Mound Hebron game, it's on LSMN Game of the Week for a reason. Whenever these two teams come together, you know something special is going to happen on that night.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be a good game. The two programs are really good. It's a really good game. It's going to be, honestly, I'm really excited for it on Friday.
Yep, me too.
One young soccer player from Hebron is making big waves, but not just at school. Here's DJ Crichton with this week's Spotlight.
This week's Spotlight is Jordan Hill, a sophomore women's soccer player for Hebron. Last week, Hill was announced to be part of the Under-16 United States women's soccer team. She is one of 24 players that were selected by head coach Patch Toledo to take part in a development camp February 22nd through 29th. Hill has been amazing for Hebron as she tallied 20 goals on the season, averaging 2 goals per game for the Hawks. Most recently, she put up a hat trick against Louisville in a dominant 8-2 win over the Farmers. Look out for Hill to be the next best thing for Hebron as they try to win their first state championship since 2014. For LSMN Overtime, I'm DJ Crichton. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Coming up after the break, we'll bring you a story on a great LISD matchup, as well as our first look on the baseball and softball season.
Once again, a little fake. She takes the shot, and it goes in. What a strike from the center of the field. Good work there. Great shot there. Finds the left corner. What a beautiful shot.
As we brought up before, Flower Mound will head over to Hebron in this week's LSMN Game of the Week, so we decided to take a bigger look at these two top teams in state.
Flower Mound and Hebron are going to clash for a top spot this Friday. I got to talk to them about it.
Obviously, when you play against good teams, you have to perform a higher level, and we're very fortunate that we get so many good games within our own district, and yes, it gives us motivation and to strive for excellence, and obviously to compete against a Hebron, a Louisville, and a Marcus. So, you know, we have to work a little bit harder every game we get on the field against those guys.
What we established, we wanted to be, you know, the top team in the area year after year.
Definitely a more competitive district, and I mean, these games are always tough. Every game you have to go in strong.
We work very hard every week, and no matter what happens, like who we play or what, like even if people are coming, like we work very hard, and we have the same mentality always that we have to come out hard and win.
In their preparations, the team finds something a little bit more.
I think being responsible, being a good responsible player helps the team in so many ways. Just making sure I practice the right way, play the right way, and making sure that I'm always on top of my A game will help the team.
The team dynamic and how much I love all the players that we're with. I feel like I want to do good not just for myself, but for our team and our coach.
Intensity needs to be higher in practice. We know the game's going to be tougher, so we just have to go in with a better mindset, be ready to play the best we've played all year. So
we've been doing a lot more technical stuff and tactical training, and has improved us so much throughout the years. That helps us win against these really hard teams in this conference.
We'll always prepare either way, so we'll prepare even more for like a big game, and then we'll come out and play.
During practices, the team's bond grows stronger.
Continue to do what we always do, just being a family, being passionate with each other, playing and practicing hard. I think that will help us in the long run.
Us competing as a family, we all have to be there for each other, good and bad, and I think we can make it far in the playoffs.
It's going to be a big game for us, and I'm sure they're thinking the same way, and it'll be a fun game to compete in.
For LSMN Overtime, I'm Jay Collis.
Now let's move it over to the men's side of the pitch as we have some highlights to bring you. Marcus took on Capel Tuesday night in a key district matchup as we close in on the playoffs. The game started out close, but Marcus got the scoring started 13 minutes into the game as Chase Fix cashed in this PK. Then bad luck struck for the Marauders as this unfortunate bounce off Pola Taklog gave the goal to Capel to tie the game up at 1. Capel took momentum from that goal and scored a free kick off the leg of Sam Stone, giving them the first lead of the night. Owen Goal answered right back for Marcus with this long free kick from 25 yards out to knot this game up going into halftime. Capel took control in the second half with the second goal of the night from Sam Stone with this 36-yard strike. The Cowboys doubled their lead as they scored another set-piece goal off the head of Luca Gazzolia. Marcus had their chances to come back, but couldn't find the back of the net in the second half. losing this one 4-2.
Recapping some of the games that happened, Hebron killed Plano 4-0. Flower Mound beat Plano East 4-2. Louisville lost Plano West 1-0. And the Colony shut out Creekview 2-0. Previewing some matches we have, Hebron and Flower Mound face off in an important match as they're both top 3 in district play. Marcus will take on Plano West as they keep fighting for that 4th and final playoff spot. Louisville will try to get rid of the district play goose egg with a game against Plano. Then finally in 5A, the Colony will head to Newman Smith.
Yeah, let me tell you, again, I'm looking forward to that LISD matchup, Flower Mound and Hebron. Both two very good programs on the men's side as well.
Yep, anytime, regardless of what the sport is, Flower Mound and Hebron, whenever those two get together, going to be a great match.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Now let's move over to the baseball diamond as the season is just getting underway. This past week, every team competed in tournaments all across the states as they prepared for the upcoming season. This week, there's a whole new slate of tournaments going into district play. Rivals Hebron and Marcus will play in the 5-Tool Classic, while Flower Mound will compete in the DFW Class Tournament. Both the Colony and Louisville will face off in the Irving Tournament.
You know, Hebron and Marcus playing in that 5-Tool Classic, those two rivals, they're definitely going to want to, see what the other has in store for this coming up season. They're going to want to try and best each other, try and feel each other out.
Yeah, definitely. You got to get a head start on your opponent when you go into the district play. So it'll be a good tournament because, both those teams are very good for LISD baseball.
Yep, absolutely. Previewing softball, they also competed in tournaments last weekend, preparing for district play coming up. They'll start to wrap up tournament season this weekend. Marcus, Flower Mound, Hebron, and Louisville will be playing in turf wars this weekend, while the Colony faces off in the Denton tournament.
And all those LISD schools doing the turf wars, except the Colony, but all those good programs, facing each other, getting to see each other. It's going to be great to see in the softball because, LISD has got some great softball and baseball programs, as we talked about.
It's going to be a great season for both baseball and softball this year.
This week, Grad Star goes out to Hayden Sokolinski, a sophomore softball player at Oklahoma State. The 2022 Marcus graduate has started the 2024 campaign on fire for the Pokes. She currently has a .500 batting average after 11 games with 6 RBIs on the season. In Hayden's most recent game, she hit her first home run of the year as the Cowgirls beat the South Dakota State Jackrabbits 11-2 in 6 innings. As the Cowgirls start conference play next weekend against the Baylor Bears, look out for Hayden to have a huge role on this team as they go for another run into the College World Series.
Recently, the LISD Board of Education unanimously approved a motion to rename the Louisville High School's football fieldhouse after former coach Ronnie Gage. During his 42 years of coaching, he earned a career record of 187, 107, and 8. He also won 7 district championships and led Louisville to its only 2 state titles.
That's all for this week's episode. Our next episode won't be till March 28 due to the upcoming spring break. I'm Brendan Selke, that's Alex Salazar, and see you next time right here on Overtime.